Everybody, I've made another stop. I'm at this beautiful park in Inglewood, right by Broken Tee Golf Course. Sorry for the close shot. And I'm just going to give you a little tour here, a visual tour. There's a beautiful pavilion right here. Golf course is right over there. So right over here is the golf course over the hill. And so I'm going to sit down for a minute and I want to talk to you about weekly rest rhythms. Try and say that 10 times real fast. So look at this high-tech device I've got to rig up my camera to the tree. Yep, it's a bungee cord with a ball on the end. Here we go. I want to take some time to talk to you about weekly rest rhythms because they're critical. Without weekly rest, you're going to find yourself frustrated. And without weekly rest, you're going to find yourself not quite there yet, not quite totally living your best life. So what I want to ask you to consider is, what are the 3 days before and the 3 days after your Sabbath day 4? And I cannot remember where I heard it. I heard this beautiful description that the 3 days before Sabbath are for anticipation. Okay, so that was awkward. I told you about battery issues on the previous episode, and they persisted as I tried to record the second episode on my bike ride. I was talking about weekly patterns, and so I was also talking about 3 days before and 3 days after Sabbath. There's a beautiful thought that every Sabbath has 3 days leading up to it, and every Sabbath has 3 days following it. And those 3 days, one set of 3 days is for anticipating and preparing and looking forward, just like you would a vacation. Rest and Sabbath should be so enjoyable that we truly look forward to it. The way a teenager might look forward to going out with his or her friends. So I want to attract you to the idea of rest, but right now it may seem like another chore. That's okay, that's part of the process and the transition. The other 3 days, the 3 days following the Sabbath, are to look back and enjoy what happened on the Sabbath. There are some great books. Here's one, right by my computer, Sabbath, by Wayne Muller. All kinds of different ideas on how to build habits of resting, of enjoying. And so there are so many cool ways to enjoy your Sabbath. I want to invite you to just think weekly. Every week should have a special time that you look forward to that is, in fact, a time of rest, a time that you can spend a couple of days looking forward to. For me, when I first started, it was really an attempt to help my kids get off their phones. And it was very hard. And I launched in without their full buy-in. So my wife and my kids, they weren't all on board. I think building a weekly pattern of rest is incredibly hard. And I had no such thing in my single years, and certainly not in my family of origin. Friday night was kind of a fun time to watch TV and stay up late and be glad I didn't have to do homework. But as I've gotten older, as bills have piled up, as life has become difficult, as I'm raising kids and really concerned about their use of devices, I want to be sure that I'm setting up routines and patterns that help them move away from all that is so attractive on that phone. So I want to invite you to weekly rest, and I want to invite you to have a pattern of rest that you truly look forward to. And when I say rest, think about those two words from the previous episode. Think about stopping. What would feel so good to stop preoccupying yourself with or stop doing? Maybe if you're a busy parent, it's, I just would love to not have to cook. Maybe if you're a busy person on their phone all the time, constantly responding to email, maybe your Sabbath looks a lot like enjoying turning off email and having an away message. Something like, I'll be able to return, or I will return emails starting on such and such a date, or I won't be checking emails until such and such a time. At that time, I'll get back to your message as soon as I can. Having an understanding with your coworkers and your boss that there is every week a 24-hour period where I'm just simply not available. And maybe at first it's not 24 hours, but it's a commitment to putting a stake in the ground and saying, nope, not going to do this all the time, whatever this is. The chaos and the bickering over, let's say, a tablet or a device, we know that our kids are going to bicker over things like that. So for one day a week, for one evening a week, there just is no tablet. And we're going to play video games. We're going to play board games, or we're card games, or we're going to make up word games, or we're going to play a game that has a conversational piece to it. I'll tell you something. If you do this weekly rest as a family, you will teach your kids how to be still, how to take time, how to enjoy one another's company, and how to hold a conversation. It is a rare skill these days that people know how to do that. Guess what? It comes from resting and playing and conversing and talking together. That's where it comes from. It doesn't actually come from just stopping everything and overreacting. It comes from resting and finding a way and getting outside and playing and enjoying. So I really want to encourage you, try to enjoy your time with your family as often as you can, but certainly one day a week, put a stake in the ground and say, this evening is protected. We're going to have a game night. If you want to have friends over, fine. But we're not doing devices, and we are not getting on screens. And I guarantee you it will be hard. It will usually be harder than it is easy at first. And if you are like a baseball player batting 300 or thereabouts, you're doing pretty good when you start. Every third time you try to do this will probably be successful. So I want to share a little experience and a little bit of wisdom in that regard. Resting as a family is just so not easy. It is difficult. It is something else. Because, and this is where rest and reflection go, weekly rest and reflection help you think about, why is it so hard to rest? You can't think that through until you experience true rest. And you can't experience it. This goes back to do it now. What is going to motivate you to do all the hard work, to do a moment of rest, to stop all the other things and do this thing? Remember, in that series, we talked about motivation consists of collaboration, goals, that it be interesting, and that you have choices. So think about some really cool Sabbath menu options for that special day or that special afternoon or that special time of week. Think a little bit about, maybe there's a certain kind of food that we can choose off of the Sabbath menu. Maybe there's a certain kind of game. There's a few sets of games that we love as a family, and we're going to play that. Or if you're single, I'm speaking as a family man, but if you have roommates, you can rest together. It might feel really good to do nothing together on the regular. Be in your pajamas all day. Have food that you made the night before that is left over, something healthy. Maybe take a walk as a household and just shoot the breeze and talk about life. Maybe drive to a park nearby that you enjoy. Or I recommend getting on your bike and taking a ride to a new place and enjoy and play together. So imagine every week, instead of booking a flight on your favorite airline, instead of salivating on social media over what other people are doing, what if you yourself simply made time to enjoy rest and play and food and friendship? Now, you might say, well, I have friendship time all the time. I'm young and single, or I go out a couple times a week. I'm not talking about going out. I'm talking about resting. And so that might mean napping could break out at any time, and that's a good thing. I've talked about this in my previous podcast, the Man in Many Roles podcast. So you may want to check out some of my episodes there. Please consider weekly routines of doing very little, even ordering out very little. Like, you're not pulling on others to do the work for you. You're just using the enough that you have, the extra, the leftover dinner, the takeout you had last night, you can use on your Sabbath day. Think about sharing a meal and enjoying, and making the meal is play. Maybe grilling is your thing. I want to encourage you, let everything that you own rest. Try to give your phone a rest. Try to give your car a rest and walk instead. I know I'm saying the word rest a lot, and I don't want to overuse it, but this is, in fact, a series about stopping, rejuvenating. Please think, imagine, what would it be like to have a weekly special time where you're with people you love or you live with or that you like, a time to tell them why you are grateful for them, and a time maybe to just talk about gratitude. So in this weekly routine, think about something like a talking prompt or something that you want to discuss. It could be, what are you grateful for? It could be, what was your favorite food this week? It could be, what was good and true and beautiful this week? What satisfied all three? Good, true, and beautiful. There's so many ideas, and your creativity will surface if you give this a rhythm and a routine. They say it takes 3 weeks to make a habit. So I'm thinking it'll take about 20 attempts. 21 days is 3 weeks. So you're going to have to do this for, I don't know, about a third of a year to feel your groove. This is the opposite of instant gratification. This is, I don't know, working to downshift, working to give your attention to something more important, to something better, and to something so simple. It's about stopping, breathing, napping, enjoying your food, going slowly. It's about enjoying nature and beauty. Maybe you play some music. Maybe you make music. Holy moly, can you imagine sitting with your family every week in the 21st century and you're making music? Not digital music. Maybe. I don't know. Make the music you want to make. But imagine that level of play that becomes creative and enjoyable. I just think it could be phenomenal. So I'm going to ask you to consider that, and I'm going to ask you to consider, what do you really want? Do you want the level of busy that you currently deal with? Do you want something different? If you want an infusion of joy, I'm telling you, rest ticks the boxes. Not all of the boxes. It's not like high energy enthusiasm. It's more like the satisfied feeling after a good meal. And we want to bring that into our lives. That's wisdom. We want to get off of social media, and we want our children, if we have them, to know they can survive every week for several hours without any need for social media. Their friendships and their world tells them they can't. They absolutely can, and it takes this gentle approach. So maybe in your household, if you have kids that are really struggling with leaving their phones down, it could start with 90 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, and then work your way up every Sabbath to another level of leaving phones, playing games, getting essentially distracted from your distractor, which is your phone, and playing, enjoying, laughing, making dumb jokes. I'm telling you, the more board games you play, the more dumb jokes and inside jokes and fun start to happen. That's joy. Looking people in the eye, enjoying their presence. They see your teeth when you smile. You see their teeth when they smile. And you have silly laughs and big laughs, and laughter is just such a joy. It's rarer these days to share a laugh because often we come into rooms and someone's on their phone, but I'm not. Or they're not on their phone, but I am. And so I'm missing opportunities. What Sabbath is, and stopping, is a chance to reconnect with people we love and see them and be present to their body language and get outside. I think pretty much every state in the US has state parks. So that could be a focus. Every Sabbath we go to a different state park or a different park in town. Even if it's not for long, I think we could do a lot with our Sabbaths. Once a month, we could go to a different museum. We could try to walk a different cool area. The point is joy, rest, restoration, renewal, and no agenda. The whole point is to not have much of a point other than to be together with people you love. If you're single, what's incredible about this is it gives you a chance to learn how to be alone. Not lonely, but it is a chance to practice solitude. It is a chance to practice being okay in your own skin with silence and solitude and just that thought that I'm enough. I can do this. I'm going to be okay. That is severely under attack because of, how do we say it? It's under attack because the glowing screen has become like medication. And you might say it's ironic I'm using social media to try to get wisdom across to people, but I'm trying to meet people where they're at. So I hope that doesn't seem like a contradiction to you. In the comments below, please answer the question honestly so that I can get resources and it'll direct my work a little bit. What makes it hard to rest? What have you tried? And what has worked for you? And I hope maybe you rest and come back to this episode and check in with it. I find that when I re-listen to podcasts that appeal to me, I get a little nuance. I get a little difference each time. Please rest weekly. Try it out. I think you'll like it. But remember, it will not always be easy. I want to encourage you, please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this podcast if that's how you're receiving this content. The video podcast is on Spotify. You can also look at this on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@youareenoughlife, all one word. Or just type it into your YouTube search bar, letter U, letter R, ENUF, life. Share with a friend. If we do 5 things, like, subscribe, comment, join, and share, the word gets out, and hopefully more people practice wisdom. I think finally there's this concept that wisdom is a thing that is on or off. It is binary. You have it or you don't. You're old and wise or you're young and foolish. That is not true. We are all growing in wisdom. I don't consider myself wise. I do consider myself somewhat experienced at over 50 years old. And I really do try to relate to the younger generation. You will see that as I'm going to be working with younger co-hosts. I'm going to interview people of all different generations, and I hope that you keep joining me. I am so looking forward to sharing more information. I'm sorry that my bike ride videos didn't work out this weekend, but I'm going to keep doing that and enjoying it and resting in the idea that I am enough. And I hope to present to you that you are enough. You are enough to do it now. You are enough to practice Sabbath. You can absolutely do it. Thanks for tuning in.